Welcome back to Baby Souls, guys. We are trying a slightly different format. Nothing that you're going to see on the screen. But the last probably 2-3 episodes of Baby Souls, Baby's gotten real restless, real unhappy after about 20 minutes in. I think it's because I was filming Baby Souls. Well, we were filming Baby Souls in the late afternoon. I think she was just getting too hot. And so we're trying Baby Souls here in the morning when it's much cooler in the house. Like, technically, the house says it's 75 degrees all day, but that's not true at all. This is an older house built, I believe, in the 1960s. And so at the thermostat, which there's one thermostat in the house, it is 65 degrees. Or no, not 65. I can't afford 65. It is 75 degrees. But here in the living room, which is right next to the wall of the house, it is not. It is like significantly hotter than that. I think she was just uncomfortable. And babies, like, it would be nice if a baby would just say, "Please, I'm hot, move me somewhere else." But babies just tend to cry instead. Like, that's how they express.
Here to see, however.
Or can we upgrade to 12? My understanding was we could only upgrade to 11. But looks like we're going to be able to upgrade to 12. So, alright, we learned something new. And let's level up traditionally. Who wants the toothbrush toy? That's right, if you brush your teeth, you won't have teeth like I have. Okay, so we are going to the Undead Crypt, and we were told by Aldia that Vendrick is just up ahead. What's he doing in the crypt? I don't know. He's a king. He's not a crypt keeper. But we're going to find out. Let's investigate the case. Don't throw your toothbrush toy on the ground again. It gets dirty when you throw it on the ground and then you put it in your mouth. I feel like I hit the back of that guy's helmet before I bonked off his shield. Like, in my mind, if I go through your head to hit your shield, the shield shouldn't block. But then again, I'm not a dev. And this bro, we may just be able to run behind this bro and backstab him. There we go. Nope. Toothbrush toy didn't touch the ground, so there's nothing to complain about from the other adult in this house. Okay. The toothbrush toy definitely touched the ground. Come on, let's play. Help Daddy play. So that guy had a torch. That's going to be important later. Not a wall. Just a dude. And I don't think we can actually, like, sneak by on the side. And in fact, we are going to switch. We are going to switch to our vertically swinging weapon again. Because we want a vertically swinging weapon in this level. Okay, it don't work like that, bro. It only works like that if I can't get behind you. And then in this room, we've got two magic casters. that we want to deal with first before we deal with all these undead. So we're going to run up. And then we can deal with the undead. The undead are easy. Napkin, napkin, napkin. So let's meet with the NPC of the area. Alright, it's clean. Alright, so you said don't produce light. Now, you're going to notice lots of people are producing light. So why are we told not to produce light? I don't know. But we're going to find out what happens when we do. So coming up here, we actually don't need to come up here. We can run past all of this. But we've got NPC, 3 enemies who don't aggro unless we attack them, which we're going to attack them. Because that's how we roll. Because Aldia asked us last episode if we desire peace. And we 100% do not desire peace. So they'll aggro. NPC won't, though. He don't really care. Oh, he's undead. He has an Estus Flask. And how do we get Estus Flasks? Well, we get Estus Flasks from... Oh, we gotta get out of here. But we get Estus Flasks from the Emerald Herald. So the Emerald Herald gave him an Estus Flask. I guess he followed us down. So let's talk to him. He drops some clothing if we kill him, but we're not going to kill him because he sells useful items.
Guardian of the crypt. Countless dead rest here in peace, cradled by the comfort of dark.
Well, I'm looking for a king.
Light only agitates.
Light only agitates. Remember that.
For it here.
We have no need for it here.
I am a finito. We weave and watch over the dead.
So you notice all the Milfinitos were females. But the males are not Dilfinitos. They're just finitos.
Some of them from ages.
Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for your history lesson.
You comprehend? You will find him many castle servants in the light have come to fetch them. But they rest here now. 50 dead to the king's own guard.
Okay, so people from the castle come here, but they get killed by the king's guard. Now, he doesn't say they get killed by the area, so I guess he's implying this area isn't that hard.
Humans were one with the dark. The former king of light, he did. Queer you humans. This place is welcome to all. Tell me what you...
Alright, let's learn his gesture, even though we don't use gestures. And let's see what he's got for sale. So he's got this ring. Ring counterattacks when damage is taken. I've never used this ring. I don't really have any desire to use this ring. Like, watch a YouTube video on how to use this ring. Got some arrows. He sells lots of humanity, or lots of human effigies, and lots of Elizabeth mushrooms. All pretty steep. And then he sells some miracles. And he sells some sorceries. Let's buy the Elizabeth mushrooms. We like those. Farewell. Got these people killed for no reason. Self-defense. And let's continue on. Remember, they have no use for light. Light irritates those who are inside. Seems like there's plenty of light going on in here. And then we've got this sconce right here. What if, out of all these light sources, we increase it by 1? Is anyone going to be mad about that? Let's find out. Well, technically by 2. So we've already increased it by 1 just by lighting the torch. Let's increase it by 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's increase it by 10%. Throw by 20%. And we get invaded by this dude. And this guy's hard to push off. But he tried to backstab us. I wish I had my other weapon right now. Let's just take a little drink. Is he exercising a miracle? How does that work? Like, you're in the undead crypt. And you have hexes. There we go. Okay, we got him. So, by increasing to 2 more light sources, we got an invasion. Item down there. But we can't drop to that item from just above. But we can drop to it from here. So we got a soul of great hero. Not a ton of souls, really, at this point. And you see these lights, these like baskets or light sources which could be lit. Okay, it went to the floor again. Nope, nope, it landed on my sandal. It's safe. It's safe. It landed brush up and on my sandal. But those light sources there, it looks like it's a platform that you can drop down to. It's not. It'll push you off to the side every single time. Don't try. Well, you can try, but you'll die. Now we can climb up this ladder. Why we couldn't just reach up or reach over like 2 feet to this ladder? Not possible. Not possible. And we got some more items that we're really not going to use. So let's come over here. Let's go through the fog wall. Not a boss yet. No mid-level boss. Well, technically there is a mid-level boss. But we enter through here. Now what you're going to see, look at these bells right here. This is why we're using a vertical swinging weapon. Because these bells, when they get rung, fairly strong enemies will spawn in from these sarcophagi. Not an appropriate time. Not an appropriate time. Baby. As long as we keep it mitigated with that one, I don't know what you want to call them, that one phantom. But we're about to see more phantoms. Anytime a bell gets rung, phantoms start spawning in from all of these sarcophagi. Now we can destroy the sarcophagi. In fact, we can just reset the level. We can destroy the sarcophagi and they don't respawn. And that's what we want to do, at least in this area initially. Are the bells still ringing, even though we rested? And how did the bell get rung? Well, these undead will ring the bell on their own volition. Now, we can ring it too. And that's why we've got the vertical swinging weapon, because we want to avoid that. We want to get this item, but we don't want to ring the bell. Let's despawn the sarcophagi first. And once the sarcophagi are gone, it'll just be like these skeletons that spawn. And these skeletons are not that dangerous at all. Like, the real danger is the enemies that spawn from here. Because they will have pyromancies that are quite deadly. And you'll notice our mobility is impeded. Blue flame. I wonder what that's a reference to. Okay, centaur guy. Now it's not an appropriate thing to do. So we come through here, and we've got that sarcophagi right here. 3 hits, we can spawn in 1, and I think that's it for this area. Let's just come up here to avoid some of the heat. Now we can get up to kill that lady too. And we're going to. Now I can only imagine how bad it is to be destroying rocks with a sword. Like, I would think our blade is getting pretty dull right now. So, we shouldn't hit the bell because of the weapon we're swinging. If we did hit the bell right now, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so we hit that bell. And then this dude over here hit this bell, so let's kill him. And these guys don't spawn infinitely. Oh, hello, we got one more sarcophagi. Uh-oh, we're trapped. Run away! Toy. Napkin. Technically, those are Kleenexes. Baby. Baby, baby, baby. Okay, Titanite chunk. We did need that. Let's tear up our Kleenex. Well, no, Kleenex is a brand name. Let's tear up our facial tissue. I got her in the eye. I got her in the eye. Let's take a second to make our baby happy again. Now, when I say our baby, I mean my wife and I, not me and the viewer of this stream. There we go. Baby happiness. another sarcophagi. We want to retreat to heal. Yeah, if these guys ever trap you somewhere, and there's a space that they can trap you pretty easily in. Nope, jump! Nah, I couldn't jump. I got stun locked. But if they ever trap you, like in a corner or in a hallway, you're done. Almost impossible to beat. Alright. So let's go at it again. The sarcophagi do not respawn. So we dealt with them. The rocks respawn. The skeletons respawn. The undead, or the hollows, respawn. Sarcophagi do not. So we have made progress in this area. And this is a good area, in my opinion. Any area that maybe you can't one-time it, but you can slowly make progress as you go through it, in my mind, is a good area. We want our souls too. And we want that item. And we don't need to kill that lady up there, because we can just come out here and be done dealing with that lady. Toothbrush, toothbrush, toothbrush. Oh. Alright, I'm having a rough time with this area. Normally this area isn't that hard. We gotta buckle down, baby. Don't drop it. You almost dropped it. Human effigy. We only got 47 human effigies left. If you drop it again, I'm gonna leave it down there to punish you. Like, that's how being a baby works, is you gotta learn accountability. And just drop it. Yeah, vertical swinging weapons, far less effective. I mean, this weapon is great as far as the damage goes. It doesn't even swing that slow. Napkin. Let's get this. Someone get this baby a napkin. I think we made it further than last time. Who wants a camera or a camera cover to play with? So, if you remember the miracle teacher Lydia, or Lycia, one of the two, if we had not finished her quest line, and you dropped my camera lens. Baby. Baby. 1 second, I think baby pooped herself, because I'm kind of smelling it. So, let's take a quick break. Alright, we're back. Let me double check my camera angle. Oh, no, you don't get my... Alright, and with that, the audio just went out. You couldn't hear it, but I said, no, you don't get my cell phone. Which is true, because she will take that cell phone and chuck it. So, I'm going to be doing some voiceover for the rest of the Undead Crypt. Sorry, I have no idea what happened. The audio works fine next time I booted up my program. But let's continue on. Now we've got these, not centaurs, because there's not the lower body of a horse, but the lower body of a worm. So we've got these worm tars that will come out of the wall. You can kind of see their swords. A lot of times you'll just forget about it and you'll run right by and they'll get you. And we've got two more of these dudes. Now, you smack them. they will come and attack you. I don't believe they'll attack you, no matter how close you get to them. But just be careful, guys. You've got the overlapping attacks. And they don't hit especially hard, but they do have a lot of health. You see my baby? She's got her little lens cover to chew on. That's a good baby. Chew on whatever I give you. So, had Lydia invaded us there, had we not resolved her quest line earlier, there would be an item here. I believe we already got that item because we resolved your quest line back in Majula. When we drop down this hole, there will be one correct way out and a number of incorrect ways out. So we're going to be looking for the hallway that leads us out that's bigger than the others. And we want to get out of here as fast as possible because this room is actually pretty dangerous. So here's the hallway. We run out real fast. And the goal of getting out is the shortcut that leads us across the entire level can be dropped right here. Now, we are going back to clear out this. So what happens is the sarcophagi in there, there's several. And so when a bell rings, it gets pretty dangerous in there. And you've got all these undead that are spawning who are ringing the bells. 2 of the 3 false hallways lead to a sarcophagus. And if you get trapped down there from forward and behind, you are pretty much dead. And so the tactic we're going to use, and I'm not going to explain it all, like I was doing play-by-play when I was really narrating this, but the tactic we're going to use, and there you see right there some hollow trying to ring a bell. But the tactic we're going to use, because these guys are pretty tough, especially when they gang up on you, you've got limited mobility on the floor, is retreat out, heal, and then dissipate them as they go. So, since I'm not going to be doing a play-by-play a second time, this is a good time as any to talk about Souls 2. So I like the game, the base game. I'm really not a fan of the DLCs. There's 3 DLCs. There is the Crown of the Sunken King, which is by far my least favorite out of all of them. And that goes to a place called Shulva, the Sunken City. The bosses in that DLC are actually kind of mixed. So one boss is going to be your Shard of Manus, which Nishandra is a Shard of Manus for the base game. She's not a bad boss, with the exception that she will summon ads to come and help her. And so maybe she summons like 3 skeletons, and maybe she like literally summons BellStadt. And so the fight, if you kill 2 of the 3 summons, 2 of the 3 skeletons, and there's just 1 skeleton there wandering around, compared to BellStadt, the fight's pretty easy. If she summons BellStadt, the fight gets very hard. And I've actually never had her summon BellStadt on me before. I think the 1, maybe 2 times I've beaten her. Yeah, 2 times I've beaten her. She's never summoned BellStadt on me. But if she summons BellStadt, it's almost a lost fight. And then after that, you've got Sin the Slumbering Dragon. And he's actually a good fight. I like him. As far as like a Dark Souls 2 dragon fight goes, I think they perfected it with that. And then after that, you've got like these 3, not invaders, but functionally invaders. It's 3 NPCs you fight. And they're okay, like they're nothing special. I think it's kind of a wasted opportunity for a boss fight, just to put 3 NPCs in and give them each a health bar. But yeah, that DLC's got a bunch of BS in it. There's a bunch of levels that there's a bunch of enemies that you can't even attack until some other part in the level where you can kill like their corporeal body. It's like a spirit that you can't attack. There's nothing you can do to deal with it. You just gotta take the hits and avoid them. And then later in the level, when you find their corporeal body, you can actually kill them for good. There's that kind of BS. and then there's a whole bunch of moving doors, moving walkways that you have to shoot with arrows. So the game forces you to use range to complete it. So that is the Crown of the Sunken King. And then we've got the Broom Tower, and I forget the name of that officially, like the Crown of the Iron King or something like that. Broom Tower is okay. Broom Tower, it just has too many enemies everywhere. And it's just a big level. All the DLCs have big levels. It's almost hard to learn them. There's too large. They should have made them into smaller areas and have 3 or 4 areas as opposed to like 1 or 2. One of the fights for Broom Tower is just trash. It's the Blue Smelter Demon. So it's literally the exact same as Orange Smelter Demon, which we fought back in the Iron Keep. Slightly harder. I mean, your level is slightly higher. But the run back deals with like 30 enemies, and it's almost impossible to make the run. You have to clear out every single time like 30 enemies. The justification was, oh, it's a multiplayer area. But the problem is, these games need to be designed for single player because 10 years later, multiplayer is done for this game. And so if you just make a bad area, it's just a bad area once multiplayer is gone. 2 of the boss fights are actually pretty good. Fume Knight, which has 0 run back, and Sur Elan, which has a long run back, but I'm usually pretty successful at getting through the run back with like 1 or 2 Estus flasks being lost. And then the final DLC is, I don't know, Crown of the Frozen King. I guess it's Frozen Elium Lois. It starts out actually pretty good. That once you enter the city, Elium Lois, you can go left and fight a boss, but the boss is invisible. Or you can go right and get an item that lets you see the boss. And so that's good. You go right, you find the item. It's easy to find. There's no getting lost. And then you can fight the boss, you can see the boss. Then you meet with the queen, and she unfreezes the city, and now you go through the exact same city, but it's like twice the size, and certain aspects of it have changed. Well, it's not exactly that fun to go back through the whole area over again, but the only thing that's different is going to be a couple little paths. A couple of paths have changed. A couple enemy placements are different. Like, it's just not that good. It's not bad the first time, it's just not that good the second time. The second boss is an awesome boss. The Burnt Ivory King. Great boss. You take 4 knights with you. Well, you take up to 4 knights with you, I should say. You can take 1 knight minimum, 4 knights maximum, and the more knights you take with you to help fight the boss, the better it is, because he spawns in his own knights. And then after that, like the worst area in all of Souls, the Frigid Outskirts. The Frigid Outskirts is like a 3 to 6 minute run back to a boss. There's almost nothing there except for running through this snowfield. And there will be these blizzards which completely obstruct your vision. During these blizzards, these reindeer will spawn in and attack you, and they're pretty tough. And so not only do you have to run a long way, you have to deal with these pretty tough enemies, but the boss is just a reskinned boss that you fought at the start of the DLC. It's just there's 2 of them. It's just it's a tiger, basically. And instead of fighting 1 tiger, you fight 2 tigers, but 1 tiger will enter the fight when the first tiger is halfway done. So it's not unique. It's a long run back. The enemies are the worst. When I played that, and I've only beat it once, I despawned every single reindeer. It took me like an entire Sunday to do. To fight a boss that... It's not even like that great of a boss. Okay, so we're done with that room. We enter this giant hallway, and we come back here. The bell for this hallway is right here. This is the only bell. And then 3 or 4 undead, or 3 or 4 hollows, prisoners, whatever, will spawn in and ring the bell behind you. So you kind of got to lure them out. Because should they ring the bell, there's going to be like 6 or 8 of those ghosts with shields that spawn in. And it becomes very hard. So we got them all there. And now we start working our way down. We're just going to double check. But none of them respawned. And since the bell never rang, none of those ghosts or spirits spawned, period. So we look down here, and we've got some of the guards from the castle. We've got these 2 Siam Knights, which do respawn. And then we've got 1 Dragon Rider that doesn't respawn. Kill the Dragon Rider, he's done. And then there's some treasure chests in the back. So let's deal with these Siam Knights. The Dragon Rider, the moveset is the exact same as all the others, but he does have more health than before. So we can deal with him real quick. And then beyond him is the boss named BellStadt, which is a good boss. People trash on BellStadt because they say he has a limited moveset, which I mean, he somewhat does, but he's still a good boss overall. And his phase 2 gets new moves. Now, if you're just like a typical first-time player, you don't realize the bell is behind you. And so, this room becomes incredibly hard if you don't kill all the undead that ring the bell. What I would recommend doing is if you hear the bell ring once, just run along the side of either side of this hallway. And for the most part, you can actually get through the fog wall. Like, none of the enemies are so fast that they're able to hit you before you can get midway through the fog wall animation and you get your iframes. And then in real life, I think Baby is getting just a little bit fussy. And so I think we fight BellStadt alone. Let me see. I'll remember when we walk in. Once again, this is voiceover. This is me editing at a later date and not realizing exactly what happened. Yep, let's cheer up, Baby. Let's be a happy baby. She's a chubby little baby. Yeah, I don't think we make. I think we're going to have a cut right here. And Baby's heading off to be with Mommy for a little bit. But let's grab some items. A torch, which we don't... I mean, we use a torch like once. This is probably one of the areas where the use of a torch was pared down significantly over what was planned pre-release. Alright, let's head in and fight BellStadt. And so part of BellStadt's theme is he's like the top knight of Vendrick. So he's here guarding him from Nishandra. Because Nishandra wants his key, and he's going to stop Nishandra from getting that and keeping her out of the Throne of Want. Oh, look, my baby's crying. Wah, wah. I'm doing a recreation of baby's noises, too. Wah, wah. And so here comes my wife. And Baby is gone. Okay, so let's head into the fog wall. And BellStadt starts on the opposite side of the room, so we didn't buff our weapon before we enter because the countdown timer for our buff is ticking down right now. So we'll just buff once we walk through and once we aggro BellStadt. And his weapon is a giant bell. They should call them BellStadt. Ha ha ha. I made that joke when I was playing the game in real life too. So, he's got a decent moveset, but he takes quite a bit of damage. Once he hits phase 2, the damage drops like almost in half. And he'll also have hexes that he can use. The hexes actually aren't that dangerous. It's good when he uses it because it ties him in one spot. So I'm struggling right now. I mean, I haven't played BellStadt in a few months, but I get control of his moveset. And you know, if you have a big bell, like how many ways are you going to swing around a big bell? Like if this was real life and BellStat's there attacking you with this giant bell, like he's only going to swing it so many ways. There's like the swing that goes up and then down, and then there's the swing that goes left and then right, and maybe right then left. And like how many other ways you're really going to swing it? Like nobody criticizes the old Dragon Slayer in Dark Souls Remastered because he only has like 4 attacks. Or his partner in crime, Schmo. Like nobody criticizes Schmo for not having enough attacks. So this is phase 2. Damage goes down significantly. And we rebuff. And let's get at it. And so that was the hex attack. And it's not hard to dodge. And you know that he's not going to be running at you trying to squash you. And it's almost like 2 free attacks. Yep, here it comes. We got a long wind-up. Easy dodge. I think those were just gone over my head anyway. And this will be it. And we got him. So with BellStadt down, we can now proceed on to the King, which we've been building up this whole game. And the King's a hollow. Ooh, look at the King. He's so hollow. He's so big. He actually is pretty big. So we look behind us. We're going to look behind us again. There's no one behind us. The King does not aggro unless we attack. Like, we can just get right in his way. And usually it's a couple attacks to aggro the King. So let's go over here, and we see that the King, like, stripped naked after he went hollow. Don't ask me why. But we get the King's Ring. So the doors that we would go to before that say produce a symbol of the King, now we can open those. And hey, look, someone's behind us. Wow, she just got here. It's the Emerald Herald.
Use it to gain passage through the King's Gate and venture to the far east. Bearer of the
She's telling us to go to Aldia's Keep.
If you are to be the next monarch, then one day you will walk those grounds without really knowing why.
Alright, that's all the dialogue. So the King is a boss fight, not a mandatory boss fight. And he has a ridiculous amount of health. So there's some stuff we're going to do in the future to reduce the amount of health he has. Yeah, if to fight him right now would be an incredibly long boss fight. So let's Homeward Bone, and let's start heading back to Majula. So we're going to level up, but we also go quickly to Drangleic Castle because we want to get the opinion of Nashandra as to what's going on. But it looks like, yeah, we're going to level up now.
They're up until...
And once again, we're still just going into endurance. We can split it between endurance and adaptability, but we just don't need more adaptability, so we're going to go endurance. And I don't know if there even is a hard cap for endurance, or a soft cap, I should say. The hard cap's 99. But I don't know. Like, we'll just have a little bit more green stamina bar. Let's plus up on our life gems.
Everyone's so stingy around here.
So that's me realizing we didn't go to that one bonfire. We'll make it up at the end. At the end of the series or the playthrough, we've got at least 2 bonfires we need to go to. And we'll probably buy all the boss weapons too. But let's see what Nashandra has to say. We didn't kill her husband, but we got his ring.
No longer. Brave undead, seek the throne. Follow the symbol of the monarch, and do what must be done.
She's saying kill everyone who gets on our way. Okay, so here's the key to the embedded. I'm looking for it right now. It's just a little bit up. I know where it is now for sure. A lot of people use the key to the embedded as a weapon in the game. It is a weapon. It's not a bad weapon. Actually, a lot of people really like it. I've never used it as a weapon, and we're about to go use it as a key. I think there's some like Disney game where you have this keyblade and it's like literally just a big skeleton key that you swing around like a sword. So there, I found it. Good job. That's it. But if you remember, when we were at Drangleic Castle, there was this guy that was like chained to a door, and we needed a key to the embedded to open it up. Well, we've got that, so now we are headed back to help unlock, and I'm using air quote marks. You'll probably see me use the air quote marks in real life from recording this, but we're gonna unlock the embedded. So up we go. There we go. Air quotes. And looky here. So, we can examine, and it's going to ask us if we want to use the key. I guess we're standing like in just the slightly wrong spot, so we can't use the key. But we just reposition really quickly, and we use the key. And the key, it don't make sense at all. Like, one, I don't even understand how this guy's blocking the door. Two, the key light goes through the door, because that key's like 3 feet long. So it totally kills that guy, like no question about that. But it seems like the door could have just opened either way. Seems like the chains are more of a problem. It's a Milfinito. She dies. I assume she dies. And we got Ring of the Dead, which was a totally optional item. Ring of the Dead allows us to not take a hollow form. And then there's the King's Ring, which has no effect as a ring. Like, no status effect. But yeah. When we die, we don't go hollow physically. Like, we're not physically, but visibly. Like, we still lose that little part of our health all the way down to 50%. Or 75% if we're using the ring we got from the Heights Tower Flame. But we just don't look it anymore. And why is that important? I don't know. Like, Vendrick could have kept that ring, and he would be walking around looking like a normal dude. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the voiceover. I have no idea how the microphone died when the baby reached for my cell phone. But that'll be it. See you later at the next episode.